obviously snuck in on us a little bit earlier. So it's a little bit frustrating to not be able to play a full game. And, you know, I mean, give credit to ULL. They certainly outplayed us for the first 5.5 innings of the game. But you like to play 9 innings because you still believe that you can come back and win. And, you know, we didn't get an opportunity to do that. But that's the breaks of the game. Sometimes they go against you. And up until that point, we really were, it wasn't our night. You know, it was really a strange game in some ways, you know, because there were 10 hits in the game between the two teams, and 6 of the hits were infield hits. They didn't even reach the outfield. Now, we had a little bad luck on that ground ball with 2 outs to Ibarra. It looked like to me it hit a cleat mark in the clay and bounced up over his glove and allowed a run to score there. But you know, hey, I thought ULL played well, and their pitcher, you know, had a good arm, and he induced a lot of fly ball outs from us. That's something that we've got to address. You know, we had 15 outs, and I think we had 7 or 8 fly ball outs. So we need to get better offensively. You know, the other story of the game I thought was they just continually got leadoff hitters on base. I think they did it maybe 4 or 5 of the innings, and 2 of those innings they ended up scoring. We got the leadoff hitter on base, I think, 2 or 3 times, but we only scored 1 time, as far as I remember. So, you know, it was one of those nights. You know, I didn't expect us to go 56-0, you know, and losing to ULL, you know, in a rain-shortened game, you know, is obviously nothing to be ashamed of, because, you know, ULL has a fine club, and we didn't get to play a full 9 innings, so I'm not going to hit the panic button over one loss, but it was disappointing. You know, I thought we'd had some better at bats than we did, and you know, it just didn't work out for us tonight.
What do you think of Cody?
You know, I thought, you know, Cody did some good things. He got some big outs at some key times, but you know, a couple of, what do you have, 1 leadoff batter walk. You know, the first bat of the game got on. You know, smashed that one. You know, he had a leadoff walk 1 inning. You know, a little bit of bad luck, but. No, it's the way Cody pitches. You know, he's not overpowering. He's got to, you know, be perfect. He's got to nibble a lot, and sometimes he's going to leave him out of the zone. You know, I thought it was probably, you know, pretty average performance by him.
You changed up the lineup a little. Tell us about why you
well,
Kramer there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the first 2 games Kramer played, I thought he was a real spark plug for us, and I still think he'll be a spark plug for us. You know, I think Connor Hale is a really good ball player, and I thought he was doing a great job as well. But I thought, you know, Kramer had a little bit more range, and, you know, he's done some spunky things for us. Fortunately, tonight we saw the positives and the negatives of Kramer. You know, he gets hit by a pitch, he reads a dirt ball and takes second base, and, you know, once again, he's starting to lighten you up, and then, you know, he runs without his eyes up. You know, the rule number 1, I remember the first day he got here on campus, and I talked to the team about base running, and I said the rule number 1 is run with your eyes up. You don't have to look at your feet. I promise you your feet are still going to be there. You don't have to watch them run. But if you're not watching the game, you can't react to what happens. And sure enough, he was determined to score on that ball. The problem is it never got out of the infield, and he ran us right out of the inning with Bregman coming up to bat. So, you know, those are experiences that he'll learn from. Those are, I'd like to call them freshman mistakes, and maybe that's what they are. But that's you know, why I was waiting to put Robertson in, because you know, you saw a routine ball he kicked and a base running mistake, and I've seen him do those things in practice. That's the inexperience of a player. You've also seen the great things that he does. But I just thought, you know, I wanted to see how he'd perform under the brighter lights, so to speak, of playing against ULL. And, you know, he did some good stuff, and obviously did some bad stuff. You know, I thought Cade Civic, you know, I think Cade Civic has been a real tough out for us, and I wanted to get him in the lineup. I thought the way to do it was to put Hale at first and DH Civic. You know, Jared Foster, you know, I started the season with the idea that he would get a shot as our right fielder. And unfortunately, you know, in these first 7 games, he just hadn't been performing the way that we would hope that he would. And so I talked to him. I told him, you know, he's going to have to wait his turn now, and, you know, look, we're going to try something different. So by putting McMullen in the outfield, it frees up the DH spot, which allowed me to play Civic as well. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, the returns weren't great tonight, for the first 5 innings, but we'll reevaluate it all. I don't know. I kind of like the way it looked out there, except for they didn't play all that great for the first 5 innings of the game.
Coach, you expressed your disappointment in the loss, but how tough is that to swallow when you don't get to finish the game? I mean, you guys have a chance to potentially come back.
I was just looking. Ole Miss was getting beat by UL Monroe, and they scratched 2 across in the bottom of the 9th inning without getting the ball out of the infield. So anything could happen as the game goes on, And you like to think your team will recover and rebound and come back, but we didn't get a chance. The rules of baseball are what they are. We agreed at home plate that it wouldn't be a halted game situation, that it would be in the umpire's hands, and if the game became an official game, then that was it. It could have been the other way around, and I would have. If we were ahead after 5, I mean, you can't give the win back. I'm sure Tony wishes we'd have played 9 innings as well, but it's frustrating, Chris, but it's part of baseball, and sometimes the breaks go against you, and that one went against us tonight.